Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a book review of Railsea by China Mieville. This is the 5th China Mieville I've read, the other 5 are there. And this is a steampunk novel set in a really weird world with some really interesting characters. So first of all, I'll explain what the Railsea part is itself. The Railsea is peculiar because it is the ocean of this world, but instead of water you have loose lying topsoil. Over this soil you have railway line. Millions and millions of miles of railway line spreading everywhere as far as the eye can see, all over this giant world as far as you are aware. The people live on either small pieces of rock where they've built cities, or they live on the trains that run the rails themselves. This sounds a peculiar idea, but once you actually get used to it and get used to the characters, it works really well despite its very obvious weirdness. So, onto the story. The plot starts off with Sham Yes Al Shroop. Thankfully he's called simply Sham throughout the book, which I'm glad of because pronouncing his long name would be highly irritating. And he's a standard crew member on board the mole train Maze, the captain of which is Abakat Nafi, a Captain Ahab figure for fairly obvious reasons, a giant mole which lives below the surface of the Railsea, which is about 50 foot tall and quite bloodthirsty. You know, it will easily eat me for a quick snack, for instance. Has ripped her arm off. You know, so it's Captain Ahab but replace a arm with a leg, essentially, and female for male character. Now, one day, when they are going across the Railsea, they spot a crashed train, and they go to salvage it. Whilst they are trying to salvage it, Sham accidentally falls and he finds something that he wouldn't otherwise find through normal exploration. And this information on what he finds, and in particular a film that he finds, brings him trouble, no end of trouble, and indeed the crew. So this makes him one of the most wanted people on the entire world. So he then is being chased and tracked down by bounty hunters, by pirates, and by loads and loads of different types of people, quite simply. He doesn't know quite what this information is and why it's so critically important, but he does know that it's very important, otherwise people wouldn't be chasing him all over the place. So he goes on the run, they chase him, and the plot goes from there. I can't go into further detail because it would destroy the plot of the book completely. Overall, the most noticeable feature of the book is indeed the world building, the Railsea and the way the crews and the trains just work alongside it. You know, trains replacing ships, and the railways and the way they sort of go up and down on the land, and they go sort of turn, and they have to change signals so they can actually change the train course and such, is so weirdly reminiscent of the ocean that I could not help throughout the course of this book thinking of Moby Dick repeatedly, because the similarities are quite considerable in some respects, of course. Another significant feature of the book are some of the philosophical ideas that you uncover towards the last quarter of the book, which I cannot go into, of course, because it would ruin the plot. But they are very interesting and they really do make you think. I mean, I was thinking for weeks and weeks after I read this book about what these ideas could mean. The writing style is pretty familiar if you have read other Mieville books in the past. One interesting feature of this book, which I was really puzzled about to start with, is the fact that the word and, IND, is never used, not even once, throughout the course of this book. Instead, he uses the ampersand symbol that goes like that, which I'll put up on the screen, instead of and every opportunity. There is a very good reason for this, which you learn relatively quickly before halfway through the book, and it actually makes a logical sense. But to start with, it seems really peculiar, and it seems kind of stupid, to be honest. to start with until you figure out why, and then it's perfectly logical and it actually makes the book work even better than it does already. So, in summary, this is an amazing book that I gave 5 out of 5 stars to without question, the same as the previous 4 Mieville books in fact. And it has an amazing world with brilliant characters and some really interesting ideas in it, which I personally loved really badly. This may make you think, as long as it did with me. I was thinking about this for nearly a straight month afterwards, with some of the odd ideas that it makes you curious about. I would recommend this if you like steampunk, obviously if you like the author already, which obviously I do, and if you just want something, I would say a little different, that would actually be an understatement. If you want something quite a lot different than normal, especially if you are a fantasy fan, this is more fantasy steampunk than it is science fiction steampunk, and quite frankly, this is a brilliant book, which I will read many times over the years. So that's it for my review, and that is it for my video. If you have read this book, then please let me know and tell me what you thought of it, and if you had any interesting thoughts I might not have considered. I'm bound to have missed something. Then let me know in the comments below and I will reply and we can have a nice talk about it. And that is pretty much it. So thank you for watching and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.